Boy, was I wrong. I knew I was going to be way off on the value of Harvey in terms of where people value him. He's getting drafted. I've got an ADP based on about 10 to 11 drafts that have been given to me that I've been a part of, that I've scooped up. I've had DMs sent to me. I've literally compiled every rookie draft I can find that is fresh, like the last 24 hours, 48 hours, probably the latest. And of these 11 drafts that I've combined, Harvey's ranking so low, I don't understand it. I don't get how your mom and pop leagues, best ball is different because there's a grand scale and a trigger effect of somebody taking Harvey a little higher. Okay, I'm noticing him. I'm going to take him a little higher. Then you start seeing Harvey go up and up and up and up and up, and now he's in the 6th round. He goes at 5.8 to about 6.10 in a best ball draft. So expect to pay 6th round value. In rookie-only drafts, which is what I've used the ADP for, the rookie ADP, this is what we're dealing with. It's crazy. It's head-scratching. In rookie-only I don't drafts, which is what I've used the ADP for, stupid iPads. I don't understand. I don't understand this. He's not even in the top 10. And in 4 of the drafts that I used to compile this ADP right here, 4 of them, he went past 2.4. In 4 drafts, he went 2.4. In obviously enough drafts to average him out at about 11, 12. So Caleb Johnson, then it's Harvey, Scatterboo, Burden, Loveland, Ward, kind of a grab bag. So I wanted to be safe and overshoot the ADP versus give you bad advice. And 11 of these 11 drafts are a little bit off. I was careful to make sure I was still conservatively projecting him to go a little higher than maybe he is. Like you might see him fall to 12, 13 on the regular. I'm putting him 11 here. He's going 11 overall, which is crazy to me. I don't understand it. Best Ball seems to know what's up. He's going in the 6th round in a Best Ball redraft format. But rookie drafts, your people are sleeping at the wheel. And you can win and you can build a dynasty around this, but you can win your league with a rookie that's going 1.11. I can't promise that this stays. If you draft a month from now, I can't tell you that the hype won't finally catch up with these grandma drafters, these magazine drafters. But I can tell you right now, if you're drafting in the next 5-6 days, in the next week, you're probably looking at an average of Harvey being at least available from 1.8 to 1.12. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Now, I purposely pulled the quarterbacks because I want to play this entirely safe. I pulled the quarterbacks from there, but I don't know what is this comment here. What kind of league do you play in, bro? What kind of league do you play in? Who said this? Who said this? How is Ward not top 5? In a 1 QB, you have Ward in your top 5 mixed it up? You're mixing it up yourself. You literally would put Cam Ward in your top 5 overall rookies, or your assumption is that he's going in the top 5? What are you talking about? I pulled him from like the 8-9 territory. He was the only quarterback to go. But I pulled him from the 8-9 territory because I wanted to be even more careful with this because I don't view a single quarterback in a 1 QB league worthy of a top 12 rookie pick. Are you out of your mind? And you think you should be top 5? Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. What are we doing back there? In a 1 QB, you can't trade. I've got Joe Burrow and JD5 in a league. I can't get rid of either one of them for anything. You're going to waste a top 5 pick on a rookie? Good Lord. All right. As we move forward, Harvey at 11. Harvey at 10. Harvey at 9. Harvey at 8 seems to be a reality in rookie-only drafts. This guy should be in the top 5. I would take McMillan out. For me, it's going to be, and this is not my ranking, by the way, and it says it right here, rookie ADP, and there's a big laughing emoji. So if someone comes in and goes, Smitty, why don't you have, I thought you didn't like McMillan. This is not my ranking. I'm trying to make it as abundantly clear as I can. I'm going Genty. I'm fine with Hampton. I'm fine with that. I'm going Genty, Hampton, Hendy as kind of a tie. I think Harvey deserves to be below those guys in a ranking. I'm not saying you don't get, itchy trigger finger to go grab Harvey at the 2 or 3. But in Dynasty, given the 24 age situation, I'm fine with this being something along the lines of Hampton and Henderson here. And probably you're looking at Hunter and Harvey tied here at 3. I use ties a lot because I think it definitely... It's not even a cop-out. It's a way of explaining that it's the reality of the situation. I think you want to know, if I've got Hunter, McMillan's not even in my top 6. He's not even in my top 6. This is how I would view this situation. And you could even put Hunter up here, actually. I think this is the better way to do it. So 1 is Genty, almost a tier break. Okay, let's move McMillan out of the way. He's in my way. Hampton, Henderson, and Hunter in Dynasty, all tied at the 2. You could take Hunter if you wanted. If you need a wide receiver, I'm fine with it. I think he's a top 6 to 10 wide receiver for the future. I think he could even be top 5. But we'll put him here. It's safe to not count on top 5. There's too many good players. I'm going to go Hunter, Hunter, Hendy, Hampton. Tied at 2, Harvey 3. But this isn't my ranking. It's not. This right here is the ADP. Henderson is going up here. Hampton is 2. And McMillan is 3. The fact that Hunter isn't even 3 is so mind-boggling to me. That we have nobody assuming that this kid, now that he's finally getting the wide receiver work, my thinking is that grandma leagues aren't really sure yet. They're not in the know. Maybe they're still wondering if he's going to play wide receiver. It's just the fact that I compiled 11 different drafts, 2 of which I was in. So I know people knew what was up. And granted, I will say that in those drafts, Harvey went higher, but he still went in this 5 to 7 range in the drafts I was in. He didn't go anywhere in this territory. He went 5, he went 7, and I think he actually went 8 in the other. So there are 3 that I was involved in. 2 I was drafting in. 1 I didn't have any picks in. My buddy showed me one of his that he was doing. I've gotten DMs galore on a lot of drafts that have happened in the last couple days. I compiled them all. I believe there was 11. There was 11 good drafts that I felt comfortable. One was so bad I didn't even use it because it looked like people were in comas. This is just crazy to me. The fact that Hunter isn't sitting in this 2-3 territory, and honestly, he went 7. He went 8 in one draft. He went 7 in another draft. He went 6 in another draft. He went 5 in a couple drafts. And then he went no higher than 4 in all of the drafts that I looked at. No higher than 4. What in the hell's going on? These are 2 electric players, Hunter and Harvey, that can turn a dynasty around. This is such a great group right here. These are league winners. We are looking at probably the most valuable first round that I've seen in a decade in fantasy football, if not ever. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe another 5. Caleb, you could put in there, but Scattaboo 5. 5 running backs that could refill and replenish the running back pool in fantasy to the tune of all being top 15 to 18 running backs. One of which could be number 1. 1 or 2 of which could both get into the top 6, 7, including Genty being 1. Arguably having maybe 2 top 5 running backs from this class, 1 in the 6 to 10 range, another one in the 11 to 15 range, another one right around 15, 14, 18. This is insanely crazy to see this amount of the sophomores and rookies are so good You could literally handcuff yourself in a fantasy draft, a redraft league, a best ball draft. You could handcuff yourself into drafting only rookies and sophomores, and you could build a championship team. You wouldn't even be walking on eggshells to get your team. You'd be literally drafting monsters. Some of the best players, probably over 50% of the entire top 20, are sophomores and rookies. And yes, you don't see a quarterback here. Why would I put a quarterback here? Why would I put a quarterback in Cam Ward that would barely be inside the top 4 quarterbacks maybe from last year's quarterback draft class? There's no quarterback. I took him out. I took all the quarterbacks out. Quarterbacks don't belong in the top 12. Not in a 1 QB, not with this player pool that you're looking at right here. You draft a quarterback in the top 10 of your 1 QB rookie draft, you are making a mistake and you're punting value. This man Harvey is a top 5 RB, or top 10 RB in all formats. Bold, maybe. Little early, premature, could be. Wild and crazy, maybe. Could he be 6 to 10 instead of just top 10? Yes, he could be. In fact, I'm going to say 7 to 10. I'm not even going to mess around. He's top 7 to 10. And the I was wrong, while a little bit clickbait-ish, it's true. I was wrong in saying to some of you that you're going to have to take him 4 or 5. I don't know that you have to. I'm not saying I'm going to risk it, though. I think I take him as early as 5. I don't think I kick the can down the road and try and solve this problem later past round or pick number 6, 7. I think that some of you have asked me some tough questions that I've answered. Don't do this trade or don't trade back. And I still don't think any of you should risk the biscuit by moving your 1.3 to 1.7 to get a damn third rounder, to get the entire third round. If you were going to get all 12 picks in the third round, I could give 2 craps about those. Those can kick rocks. Don't be risking anything. Don't trade down at all unless you're getting something substantial. But I have seen some of you make those grave mistakes and you trade a mother freaking 1.3 for a 1.7 to get a dumb second rounder. And you still end up working out because Harvey falls. The only reason you should be trading down to get Harvey instead of just drafting him with balls of steel at 5 or 6 overall is if you're getting something significant enough to risk it, because if it doesn't work out, you need to be okay with the piece that you got in the trade. That makes a lot of sense. If you're going to say to yourself later, let's say Harvey gets drafted at 6 and you traded down to 7 to try and get cute, and you got 2 second rounders, even if it was a 2.4 and a 2.5, let's say. Are you going to be okay with a 2.4 and 2.5 without Harvey versus Harvey with no 2.4 and 2.5? If the answer to that is, I can't sleep at night, Smitty, then why in the hell would you do it? Why in the hell would you take the risk? I'm not saying that you can't trade down and get this done. I'm just saying make sure it is worth it. And I was wrong. Nobody's in grandma leagues, in redraft leagues, in non-best ball leagues. I was wrong. People aren't adjusting and adapting. People don't know how good he can be. He's a super mother freaking Nova.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas. The hateful 8 supernovas. I'm looking at the 8 supernovas.
Harvey, Henderson, Hunter, sophomores.
The kissing gate.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Do you guys see how Harvey, rookie, Neighbors, sophomore, Genty, rookie, Hunter, rookie, Henderson, rookie, Bucky, sophomore, BTJ, sophomore. The only non-super rookie, which is what your boy Smitty coined back in the day, and everybody copies the hell out of him with these rookies and sophomores rankings and talks and stuff like that. We've been doing that longer than anybody. The only person that's not a super rookie, aka a sophomore or rookie, is Lamb. This is the wave, the movement of players and updates that are gonna jostle around fantasy football worlds for the next 10 years. It's a youth movement, and the quarterbacks are taking over. All the quarterbacks are young. Think about it. You've got mother freaking Josh Allen, who's still a young guy to an extent. You've got everybody from Hurts to Mahomes to Lamar to everybody's got so much time left. And then the number one guy, JD5, Knicks, all these quarterbacks are young. There really isn't an older quarterback that you're worried about dropping off anytime in the next fistful of years. Running backs, you have Derrick Henry, Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, and Mixon, all of which were already kind of fading anyway. The entire top 10 is just loaded, minus McCaffrey, depending on where you rank McCaffrey. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, JJ, CeeDee Lamb, Neighbors. The list goes on and on. BTJ. These are all young guys. The oldest guy, like St. Brown at 20. Ziggy, how old is St. Brown? Ziggy, how old is Amon-Ra St. Brown? Ziggy, how old is Amon-Ra St. Brown?
From Beacons.I. As of 2024, he is 23 years old.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Do we have to go to Kruger? Because goodness gracious. Ziggy, how old is Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown is a television host who is 39 years old.
39 years old!
Confirmed by a variety of sources, including social media.
Ziggy off! I'm trying to get his birthday. Ziggy's worthless. 25 years old, turns 26 October 24th. This is probably one of the older wide receivers from the elite wide receiver group. A 25 turning 26-year-old wide receiver. Now, that'll age out in a while, but it's like, you give him 3 years and then he's an old man in fantasy. But that's like the old guy. That's the old guy. We're sitting here at the precipice of a changeover in fantasy where everyone is young, where dynasty rankings and redraft rankings are not that far off by even a small margin. There's maybe one or two players that fall out of the mother freaking top 15 or 20, maybe one or two. And even guys that are older like Kelsey and Mixon and Henry and Kamara, they're all faded anyway, even in redraft to an extent. So it is a new time, a new age, a new dawn. And we're feeling pretty good. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, I'm curious to hear what you guys think of RJ Harvey and what you're willing to risk in terms of, I don't know, in terms of passing on him and trying to be the one person that's gonna, potentially risk the biscuit, get him later and get him in a move down, get something special to get an additional piece to your fantasy football roster. Who I'm not that crazy. I call it crazy. I'm not that crazy. I'm not going to, unless I'm getting something significant, like a major upgrade at a position, call it like take a James Cook and turn him into a Bucky. Take a James Cook and turn it into something like that. if I'm not getting something special, I'm not talking about second round picks. I'm talking about something special. I'm not playing the game at all, whatsoever. All right, let me go to the phone line real quickly. I've got a 678 caller. What's your name and where are you calling from, 678?
What up, Smitty?
Maybe it's DJ.
Oh, you guys are both from 678. Okay, DJ, hang tight. Let me go over to the new caller. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries.
Go ahead, new caller.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Hey, so I got a question for you about a particular dynasty league I'm in. It's a points per carry league. So in the PPC league, it's 0.5 per carry, so it's like crazy high. How would that change your perception of the draft with the running backs? Are all those like top like 5 running backs like 1 through 5 picks, or are you still putting like the Hunter, those guys up there?
So points per carry does change some things, but Hunter could potentially. I could see Hunter getting some. I know he didn't get a ton of running work in college, but I could see Hunter getting some work in the pros, on end arounds and a lot of running. Get into a weekly winner if you want to join a draft with me right now. Go to Underdog, promo code Smitty. Let's get into a weekly winner contest right now.
Brees Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him
Wrong button. Wrong button. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Link is in the description of the video. Brees always finds his way into the conversation. But, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, bro, I don't do a lot of rankings for that. So, spitballing it, I'm going to say that, if there's points per carry, the RBs are obviously going to get a big bump. I think Hunter, might fall down. Now, this ADP I don't like at all. So, for me, it's Genty. It's Hampton, Harvey, and Hendy all kind of there. You could put Harvey down at 3, Hampton and Hendy here. I think in points per carry, you might put Hunter at 4 in that situation, but it's still it's still hard to pass on Hunter. And again, I think he gets a lot of work in the pros, different than the college game in terms of carries. They just didn't need to use him, but then again, it's like he's going to be on defense too, or they're going to want to up his risk value. It's hard to say. Let me draft real quickly. I'm going to take CD Lamb here, but yeah, he probably moves down to 4. But Harvey's going to be a carry monster. Hampton's in a sharing situation. Hendy's in a sharing situation. Both of them will be fine. Both of them will have good long-term value on the season and long-term in Dynasty, obviously. I'm not worried. Mute yourself real quickly, bro, because you got so much background noise. There's so much value Dynasty-wise for Hampton and Hendy once things get a little bit settled, okay? But at the end of the day, bro, we're talking about Harvey being, in my opinion, undervalued a lot because he's 24. I think that's part of why you're seeing this ADP ranking look like this much trash. Like, this is such a trash ADP. I love it. That's great. It's advantageous. But the reason I think part of it is Harvey is 24. And you just have a dynasty mentality in this world where if you're 24, 25, people don't want you on the roster. And I can tell you from experience that about 5 times out of 10, a dynasty league crumbles within 5 years. If not a higher percentage rate. Divorces happen less frequently than dynasty leagues crumbling in 5 years. It's people that plan too far in the future, they end up... Ron's on the phone. Ron, how many dynasty leagues... Are you in a dynasty league? You joined 1 or 2 and you're no longer in them, right?
Yeah, I'm in a
But
few,
how many...
like
Didn't you leave or didn't one crumble, or... isn't there a situation where there's at least 1 or 2 that you're not? It happens. It happens.
I left the company.
So you got people leaving, and when they leave, they tend to crumble. I have created, I believe, 3 of the 6 show leagues that we've had over the years. They're not official dynasty leagues or anything. There's not even anything to do with the show anymore. It's just I stayed in them. I created them when we first started. We did a mock draft and we turned it into a dynasty league, that kind of thing. And you'd think people, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way, I'm just telling you how it is. People like to play in leagues with me for, whatever reason. It blows my mind, but you guys love to play in a league with me. You would think that in a dynasty league that I'm in, we'd be able to keep it together. But 3 of the 6 have closed. They didn't last 3 years with me in it. And the other 3 are sometimes hanging on by a thread. And people have to get replaced every single year. In the leagues that I'm in, that are from the show, people that watch the show, we literally have to replace 2, 1, sometimes 3 people every year, and they hang on by a thread. So Harvey's 24-year-old situation doesn't scare me at all. But point per carry does change things to a degree that I don't create content for that. But I can only speculate that, yeah, it's going to move the receivers down quite a bit, and it doesn't really change. It might make Harvey. I don't know what happened there. I was on the phone line. Guys, dial in. I don't know what happened to the phone line. It just crashed on me. Okay, I'm almost on the clock here. Let me draft here. I've got CeeDee Lamb. This is a weekly winner. So Lamb, huge spike weeks. Achane, huge spike weeks. Love that. We're going to go CeeDee Lamb and Achane. Dial into the show. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everybody. The phone line just crashed. I bet everybody's sitting there in purgatory talking right now, but dial in and I'll throw you back in. Here, Travis is calling in. Travis, you're live. I don't know what happened to the phone line there.
Yeah, Ron and I we're talking, and then Ron was like, wait, I think we got booted off.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. I don't know why it does it. Weekly winners, quarterbacks go a little early. 5 seconds left. Trey McBride. Let's go Kyron. So I've got Achane and Kyron. Essentially 2 top 5 to 10 running backs with CeeDee Lamb, which I feel like is pretty awesome. Let me merge this other caller real quick, guys. Hold on. All right, let me go to that caller real quickly. We got 216. What's your name, bro? All right, Miguel, hang tight. Mute yourself if you could. I'm going to come back to you. I got to go to DJ first. He's been waiting a while. Then I'll go over to Travis, Ron, and then you, Miguel. Thank you. Miguel, you said? Miguel? Okay. All right, DJ, you're live. Yeah. I like the start. This is week.
Smitty, Ziggy is, he's the best man. You know, he's like Pickens. He's like, what is this? You know, you bring this guy in, and you're paying him more, give him more attention. So
yeah, Ziggy's worthless. Kruger, Ziggy's worthless. Are we right, Krug? Because Krug, we just called on Ziggy to tell us. We just called on Ziggy to tell us how old Amon-Ra St. Brown was, and he said 39 years old. Do you have anything to say in regards to that, Kruger?
Absolutely, Smitty. Ziggy's out here throwing Hail Marys into the wrong end zone. He's nowhere near 39. He's in his prime. Maybe it's time to put Ziggy on the bench and let Kruger run the show. You know I've got your back and the right stats every time. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay, so how old is Amon-Ra St. Brown? And who's of the top 10 wide receivers, who's the 2 or 3 oldest top 10 wide receivers walking into 2025? Let's test him.
Is currently 25 years old. The top 10 wide receivers heading into the 2025 season, the 2 oldest are Devontae Adams, who's 32, and Keenan Allen, who's 30.
Keenan Allen ain't a top wide receiver, Kruger. You start to sound like Ziggy.
Point, Smitty. Let's correct that. Among the top 10 wide receivers heading into 2025, the oldest is at 32, Stephon Diggs at 31.
Okay. Yeah, well, whatever. Go ahead, DJ. Sorry.
Harvey, 24 or 9, you know, I was just looking at his attempts over his 3 years. And you could put an age number on it. And I don't know if people take a number of attempts coming into the league and if that's wear and tear. But if you just look at that, you know, he's, I don't know, maybe 12 13th out of running backs who weren't even drafted. So I don't think that's really a concern in terms of his age. And his draft status, I'm right there with you. No later than 5. No later than 5. I could see him at 3. Hampton 2. After 5, to your point, 6 and 12, I mean, pick your flavor. Which is to your point in terms of just the depth, which which I'm loving. And I think it's going to make for a challenging, draft year, and particularly in Dynasty, because we can speak to Cascadaboo, we can speak to Caleb, Judkins, and make an argument for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I could see Harvey at 3, and they're tripping.
All right, hold on one second, DJ. So I'm sitting here with Breece Hall still there. I got 16 seconds left. I got Achane, Kyren, CeeDee Lamb, and Hunter, and Breece Hall sitting there. Oh, that's great. I like Henderson, but I'm taking Breece Hall all day long. This is probably the best weekly winner start of probably drafted yet this year. Lamb, I'm the far left team. Lamb, Achane, Kyren, Hunter, Hall. That's crazy. How is Breece Hall going 5.3? How is Breece Hall going 5.3? Especially in weekly winners, where you're just trying to get everybody to collectively come together in 1 week at any time. There's no accumulation of points. Week 1 has nothing to do with week 2. Week 2 has nothing to do with week 3, and so on and so on and so on. We're just got an accumulation of players coming together and smashing in 1 week, and I've got CeeDee Lamb and Hunter as my wide receivers. I got Achane, Kyren, and Breece Hall. Achane, Kyren, and Breece Hall were all top 5 running backs just last year walking into the draft. Discount City, baby. Especially in weekly winners. This is a serious team. I might need to hang up on the phone line later and focus on this team. I cannot screw up this draft. My start here is the best start I've had in weekly winners. I cannot misdraft the quarterback spots like backups. I can't not get a backup tight end because I'm not paying attention. Damn. All right, hold on, DJ. 1 second. Let me go over to Ron.
Yeah, do you think?
Ron, Travis, and then Miguel. Go ahead, Ron. Jeez, this team is fire. Woo!
Let Travis go.
All right,
I'll
Travis, go ahead.
Travis.
Woo!
So thanks, Ron. I was just going to say I see a lot in the chat in different places people worrying about, running back committee in Denver and stuff. And anyone who's worried about that needs to, 1, do more homework on Harvey, but 2, look at what Peyton's done in the past. Yeah. When he has a running back, they get plenty of work. Not to mention a guy he considers his, quote unquote joker. Like the ball is in their hands all the time. It's not just because it was a committee last year because they all suck. Doesn't mean it's going to be.
I don't even understand how that would come out of someo's mouth. Earlier, somebody said, "Hey, Smitty, isn't Estime? Are you expecting a big bounce back out of Estime?" That guy earlier. No. Now Sean Payton does use multiple running backs, but so does pretty much every offense. It doesn't even compute with me. All right, so we're sitting here. What? I was going to say we're sitting here 3 picks away, and there's definitely some amazing talent left, but I have a feeling I'm going to get, let's see here. I already got Mahomes sniped from me. I was really hoping Mahomes, he's made it to the 8th round before. It's crazy how Mahomes falls. But we're sitting here. We're sitting here on the clock. Tebow's in here, and Tebow just timed out on Judkins, or he might have selected him last second. I got Debo still. I'm going to queue him here. I'm still going to look around. Let me just make sure Harvey's not available. He's not. We'll check where he went in a second. I don't think there's anybody here that competes with the Debo value. I'm going to go ahead and go Debo. I'll be up in a few picks anyway. So I got Lamb. My team is the far left team. It's from the 3 hole. Lamb, Achane, Kyren, Travis Hunter, Breece Hall, Deebo Samuel. And Deebo Samuel's an even better player in weeklies than he is in non-weeklies because you're expecting maybe some injury risk. I don't care about that. Obviously I want to have 17 weeks of Deebo, so I have 17 shots at 20K. But whoever wins each individual week that has no relation to cumulative points or anything, it's like, think of it like 17 different leagues that you're joining with the same team. And so each week is a new league. Quarterbacks available. I don't necessarily need to grab one. We got Matthew Golden. Bo Nix is there. I definitely love Bo Nix. I'm on the clock right now. Caleb Johnson's there. I don't mind that. George Pickens is okay here. I think I'm going to grab Nix because I think he could have those 40-point games. Weeklies, I'm fine with it. I think I'm going to go Bo Nix here. So I went Bo. I got my quarterback. Here's my team so far. It is Bo Nix, Achane, Kyren, Hall, CD, Travis Hunter, and Deebo Samuel. I would love to have had a better quarterback. I really would have. But Bo Nix can be top 5. He really could. I mean, at least any given week, he's top 1 to 5. I venture to say he'll have at least 1 or 2 weeks where he's like 1, 2, or 3. I like him a lot. Okay, go ahead, Travis. Whatever you were saying, I'll go over to Ron.
No, just on top. One more thing on top of the whole, obviously not going to be a committee. People are worried about committees. If there's an elite back, even a really, really good back, they're always going to rise up and end up getting enough carries to be a factor. Very rarely do you have an elite back or, like I said, a really great back that doesn't get enough carries at the end of the day. At the end of the day, teams want to win.
It's almost a waste of breath to describe Harvey in a running back by committee. Like Kamara was not in a running back by committee. He wasn't. They used other backs because they were using him as a receiver. They were using him as a running back. He was getting starter workload. But in a Sean Payton system, you run the ball and pass the ball to the running back more than what constitutes one man's, meal. So you're feeding more than one course meal to your running stable. It has to be another running back. When he has a player that he loves, even though he did mix around the Estime, the Javonte Williams, and the McLaughlin situation, they're all very mediocre players at this stage. And I hate to say that about Javonte, but until Javonte gets a shot and proves himself, and he kind of did in Denver, but I think he didn't get the fairest of shots. But let's see what he does in Dallas. Maybe just getting another year healthy helps him do something, but I'm not banking on it. I'm hopeful. I'll watch. I'll cheer. I'll jump on the train if it looks good. But right now, I'm not gonna conduct the train at all. This is a different special back. This is one that Sean Payton was gushing over. This is one that Sean Payton would have drafted in round 1, but they knew they could get away with him falling. He was scared and nervous that he wouldn't fall, and he did fall. And at the end of the day, it worked out great. So on deck here, and then I'll go to Ron Navy. I think I gotta go. I think I'm going to go Scattaboo here. I mean, I feel very balanced here. I don't have a tight end yet, so I could go tight end next potentially, but having Achane, Kyren, Hall, and Scattaboo, that's insane. Lamb, Hunter, Deebo, phenomenal start. I think Kelsey's a top-ranked guy. I don't know if I like him better than Tyler Warren, to be honest. Do you guys like Tyler Warren? I could get Andrews and Likely. This is weeklies. But, Kelsey and weeklies isn't bad, though. Okay, he just went. So do I go Tyler Warren in weeklies?
I would go. I like Warren in weeklies. I think he's going to have some big weeks. Likely and Andrews is always a solid way to go, too.
I'll try it. I'll go Andrews. It's weeklies. I'll see where Likely's going. Likely's down at the 130s. We're at pick 102, so we'll have time when we come back around to potentially take him. I like Warren a lot. The only thing that would make me the only thing that makes me hesitate on Tyler Warren is that he could have a slow start, and in weeklies, I don't want 7 games of not having my tight end have a shot, whereas I think Andrews and Likely together in an optimal scoring best ball where they start your highest scorer, I think Andrews and Likely will likely outscore Tyler Warren, so I think I'll go that route. Okay, go ahead, Ron Navy. And then Miguel.
Hey, how many people from the channel are in this draft?
Tebow's in here. I think Ballmaster might be our guy, and it filled really quickly. Like, when you jump in and it says 3 spots left, and you can't really control that. But Tebow got it, another got it, and then it filled.
Oh, what I was gonna say is, in a Smitty draft, it seems like Harvey goes around earlier in the 4th. He went in the 4th, but in a normal, like all the underdog drafts I've done, he's gone in the 5th.
Oh yeah, that's got to be one of our people then right here. Yeah, Papa.
If you're drafting with Smitty, if you want Harvey, you got to get him around earlier than you would in a normal.
He took him at 4.12. Come on, bro. I didn't have a chance to look where Harvey went yet because I was busy trying to man the phone line and not time out. Bro took him at 4.12. But, you can't blame him for expecting him not to be there. But at the same time, his ADP is in the 6th round. So the odds were with him that 49 pick right there, Cortland Sutton pick, probably, if he knows me, though, I probably would have snagged him. However, I wouldn't have got Breece Hall. So like I could see myself, wavering on that one, but that's way too early. And looking at his team, let's see if he has a team that can win. I think he screwed it up. I think he royally screwed up. Jamar Chase, no offense, bro, but Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, Jacobs, Harvey, Cortland Sutton, Baker. It's not a bad team. I'm not trying to rip Baker. I'm not trying to say Cortland Sutton can't be good. Of course, I love Harvey, but it really diminished your ability to pull the most talented players in. That team's not winning this tournament. It's just not. It has, I would say, almost a 0% chance.
And why would he take Jacobs over Tyron? That's what I don't understand.
I'm gonna take Dak now.
Because he got both. They
I'm
were
gonna take
there.
Dak now.
He was on the turn, so he could have had Tyron.
I'm gonna take Dak now so I don't get screwed because this guy's only got Baker, and I don't know what his plan is to try and see he grabbed the QB. I didn't want him to take Dak. And I've got CeeDee Lamb, if you remember. So I've got this really creative Substack where my second quarterback is cuffed to my number 1 wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. And that gives me a little bit of excitement there. Let's see what happens here. Next up, if I look at the overall board. So he went 2 QBs. So that was good thinking. He struggled with that pick. He took a long time. I bet you Dak was on his radar. All right, I'm on the clock here. Stroud, no thank you. Let's go. I gotta. Man, did Likely already get taken? I queued Bigsby. Where did Likely go? Oh, Tebow stole Likely from me. You heard me game planning at Tebow. That's so jacked up, bro. Dirty. Jeez, bro. Okay,
insecure move.
See, Tebow, you're gonna ruin it for everybody because I'm my next draft. I'm not telling anybody what draft I'm getting in. Everybody can boo on Tebow.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's messed up. That they take advantage of what you say. That's the problem, even with the delay.
All right,
you screwed yourself.
I want to see it at 130 ADP too, something like that. All right, it's all right. He's paying his hard-earned money. He's got to draft the team he wants because he doesn't want to miss money because he's trying to be nice. Not to mention you can't even technically do that. So, but I know.
Yeah, but who on his team does Likely go with? Likely don't go with anybody on his team.
So you could just be a spike week guy or weeklies.
Yeah.
Way to go, Tebow. Way to go. Way to screw it up for everybody. Way to spill the milk on Thanksgiving.
People
Yeah.
making excuses.
All right.
But yeah, in all my underdog drafts, whether it's Mania or the Schnauzer or the Puppy, Harvey's going 5. I haven't seen him go 6 at all. I've seen him always go 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say where he's going to go. In every one of these situations are a little bit different. Ballmaster is definitely one of ours because he just took Kyle Williams or a little, yeah. And I just cued him. Oh, bitch.
And it's getting harder and harder to match up Daniels with.
I don't.
Lawrence.
Yeah, I want to match up Daniels with Debo.
Well, I've done that already several times. That's easy, but to get Daniels and McLaurin is hard.
I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts here.
Unless you screw up your draft.
I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts here, and then that way I at least have. I don't need to have this stack going on. I mean, Andrews is still spike week for me. It's not like I need. It's not like I need likely, you know. But to have Kyle Pitts have spike weeks, I think that's possible for sure. So I feel good about my running back stable: Scattaboo, Bigsby, Hall, Kyron, Debo, or Debo, Devon Achane. I love it so far. It's a fantastic team. Miguel, real quickly. Miguel, you got anything? You've been waiting there patiently. I'll go back to Ron after that.
Yes, sir. I have a quick question. It's a scenario. Now, I got a 10-team dynasty league that has IDP players. I have a second overall pick, and I think the moron that has the first is going to take Cam Ward. So I'm going to be sitting there with Genty and Travis Hunter.
We've been asked this question over and over and over, and the only thing I can tell you, bro, unfortunately, I'm going to take Garendo in spike weeks. I'm pretty done with my running back stable. The only thing I can tell you, bro, is you gotta know your scoring. I can't answer this question for you. You have to know whether Hunter's going to score massive amounts of points and break IDP or not. Because if he doesn't get the receiver scoring with being able to be plugged in as a corner or whatever, you got to look at the projections and see what's what. You know what I'm saying?
You can. So you get the points. If you're in the cornerback, you get the points.
Are you sure about that? Because we have people that think they know, and then they're okay. Well, okay.
Sleeper just Sleeper posted it the other day that they said.
Okay, so why don't you click on the projections, look at his projection, and see where he is in wide receiver projections for 2025. Tell me what he's scoring as. Go to stats, go to wide receivers, go to 2025 projections, and tell me where he's at.
Fantasy players.
Tebow says Garendo is my pick. See, it goes both ways. How is Garendo your pick? I'm looking at your team. How is Garendo your pick? You don't have CMC. Like you can't just say, "Oh, he was in my queue." How would I know that? That's not the same thing. It's not even close to the same thing, bro.
I like your Scatterbo pick. Scatterbo could be the next Hill.
Yeah, it has him scoring like 270, 30 or 42 points, 242 points. And I'll be able to have that at cornerback. And I'm good on running. I really don't need.
If you think, sort by cornerback. Sort by cornerback.
Oh, he'll be the top scorer.
But I'm asking you, sort by cornerback and read off the cornerback. Read off Hunter, then read off. I just want to make sure that the projections are telling you. Green Bean, I can have as many running backs as I want. I don't know who made you the law of the land in weekly winners. You don't need to have.
Yeah, the top projection is 112.
But what about Travis Hunter? Is it giving you a projection for Travis Hunter?
They're not giving me a projection for
So
Travis
why?
Hunter, but they're saying that he's going to score.
Bro, but they're saying that. Do you know what I'm trying to tell you? What's his designation? Wide receiver only. I bet you in your.
No, it's.
Are you looking at that? Is it?
No, he has both on sleeper.
Okay, so the question is, I don't. My pen's not working. The question is, why aren't you seeing in the projections? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think what I'm trying to warn everybody is I think there's going to be holy hell that breaks loose on this topic. Like your commissioner has a setting there that they're saying if you do this, you do this. If you do this, you do this. But the fact that you're organizing by cornerback and you're not seeing Travis Hunter, doesn't that worry you? Aren't you a little bit alarmed? Because his projections.
I guess.
Take a look at. Even if he didn't get any, even if he didn't get any interceptions, like they're projecting him to 0 out, he should still be scoring the exact amount of points as a wide receiver in that cornerback slot. What my guess is that it's saying that you're drafting him as a wide receiver. And even if you're getting him as a cornerback, it's not allowing you to use those stats. I'm just telling you, this could be an absolute crap show.
So, Sleeper put out a little.
You talking about if he gets an interception and runs it back for a touchdown?
I'm talking about that, Ron. Everyone and their mother wants to know if he should be drafted number 1 overall in IDP, like that type of thing, because he could break IDP. He could literally break IDP. But the problem is you sort by cornerback, and it doesn't show Travis Hunter with the same amount of points that it does as a wide receiver. So I'm not saying that this is for sure.
Yeah, he's not even on the list for cornerback at all. I don't see him nowhere.
So, you know what I'm saying? Everyone.
Well, because he officially was drafted as a wide receiver.
But he's listed as a cornerback and wide.
Yeah, he's on Sleeper.
Well, he might be Travis in
receiver.
certain things. There might be a setting. So my question to the caller, Miguel, are you seeing wide receiver and CB next to his name in your league? In your league?
Yes.
I would get with your commissioner, bro.
I'm talking about.
I would get with your commissioner, get an assurance from him, because you're gonna be selecting him for a reason.
Right.
And would I take him over Genty? I suppose, yeah, if you could guarantee me those points, but Genty's hard to pass on anyway, though. I mean, just plain and simple, because he could have 400 points. I mean, I know you're getting a ton of deep. You're getting like 100 probably point difference with Travis Hunter or more as a normal cornerback.
Yeah, I'm getting to start an extra wide receiver.
Well, I don't like the way people look at that. You're not getting an extra wide receiver in my mind. It's just he's outscoring everybody at corner by like 100 points or whatever it is. 100. What's it like? 120, 130, 100.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a world where Genty's worth taking if he scores 380 or whatever the hell he's going to score. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard decision on the clock if that happens. I appreciate you, bro.
I timed out on Sam Darnold. Oh well. Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you later. I don't know. That's my problem with this, guys. Is there's no clear answer. Everyone seems to think they've got it under lock. They call into the show. They go, nope, talk to my commissioner. Well, I don't know, bro. Just get it in writing.
You need to see the scoring. Yeah, you have to see it. Yeah,
get it in writing. Because I sure as hell wouldn't want to burn my mother freaking pick and miss out on having probably, the craziest differential of points that at a position that we've ever seen before. Hard to say, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but most of the leagues, I mean, they're not playing individual. I mean, there are leagues out there, but I'm not.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, though. There are a lot of IDP players that have been calling in all week. They're having their IDP draft, and the biggest question in fantasy is what's going to happen with Travis Hunter. He's either going to break IDP or he's not. If you here's the other thing too. This is what I think Travis people aren't looking at. Like, you go to the CB position, okay? Just like when you say what's the passing, what's whatever. at the CB position, and on my fantasy league, there's a little more detail. Like you're gonna set scoring for cornerbacks, for RBs. You can do these like very, very unique scoring. But like, is it saying that cornerbacks, if you start him as a cornerback, is he getting those same stats? Just like when you start a QB, is a QB getting the same passing stats as a wide receiver? No. A QB is getting how many yards per, or how many points per pass? Like 1 point for every 20 yards, right? Whereas a running back, if a running back throws the, or if a running back, I'm sorry, let's use rushing. Sorry. If a quarterback, or no, let's use passing touchdowns. If a quarterback throws for a touchdown, well, it might do that. It might do this. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that
you can just do like, so passing yards versus rushing yards.
Yeah, but then again, if a running back throws, he's going to get the same stats as a quarterback. So what I'm trying to, this isn't explaining it right, but I do believe that a CB is going to run into a problem where, unless the scoring is very unique, I don't know. The answer is none of us know. I don't know. The fact that you can't see it concerns me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Breaking my head.
Right. Because that may be the case, then it doesn't show, like, because you can click on IDP scoring, but then under IDP scoring, you're going to have receiving yards, rushing yards, or it's just going to,
you know what it might be? What if you're only getting like TDs? You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe like a kick.
Just think about it. Kick returner doesn't get kick return yardage unless you set it that way. What if Travis Hunter is only getting 6 points per TD? It's still a nice amount, but is that enough to pass on Genty? You got to know all of these things. You have to know it all, and it doesn't sound like a lot of people are very dialed in. They're just assuming. They talk to their commish. They're like, it sounds pretty good to me. I think it's going to be a disaster.
Commissioners are going to confuse it too. To be honest.
Do you think Drabel will use Scadaboo and Taysom Hill's capacity? Since, I mean, he has that quarterback. Yeah, do you think he will? Do you think Scadaboo could be the next Taysom Hill?
I've never heard of a coach named Drabel, but I think
it's Vrabel and Dable.
Dable.
One guy.
But people do say no, but you're wrong. You're right. People say Vrabel and Dable, Vrabel, but you just didn't mean to do that. You actually nailed it.
Right.
I think that Scat's gonna earn the job. I think that the one thing that makes me feel that way is that Tyrone Tracy failed. Absolutely failed last year. At the end of the day, he had a great year. He fumbled the ball away, gave 2 games away essentially. They benched him. And despite all the good that he did, they benched him. They had nowhere else to turn, so they threw him back in the lineup and gave him another shot. But they actually sat him on the bench during a game and said, you're not playing anymore. So to me, that says something. Of course, they could give him another shot, but when you draft Scadaboo, you're probably saying that, no, we're not giving you another shot. At the end of the day, Tyrone Tracy can't hold a candle to Scadaboo in terms of getting extra yards, the grit, the determination. And if Scat gets on the field, he's going to outperform Tyrone Tracy. The only people that are going to say Tyrone Tracy, you're not giving enough credit, is you own him in a dynasty league. So you don't even count. Tyrone Tracy is, what is he, 26, turning 26? They're not going to invest in him and cultivate him when they've got this young up-and-coming running back, and they're not thinking about saving it, and we'll bring him along slowly and curb his carries, and that way we don't, break him while we're going through this weird year. They really want to know what their team can do, see what, how good he can be. I think Scadaboo, it might not be in week 1, but I think like week 4 or 5, he starts getting into a zone, and Scadaboo is going to be fed, and New York's perfect for him. But this kid's not going to let anybody stand in his way. He believes he's the best running back in the country. He believes, I'm not saying he is, but he truly 100% believes he's better than Ashton Genty. And while that's not correct, it is dangerous. Because this kid is going to come to prove it. And I think while he won't prove that, he's not Ashton Jeanty, he will prove to be potentially a top 10 running back. There is a world where Jeanty, Hampton, Harvey, Hendy, and Scatterbo are all top 15 running backs for now and the future. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but bro, I couldn't be more excited about Scatterbo. Well, yeah, I'm excited about him. I don't know. I'm so excited about all 5. I really am. I love these running. You know me. I love rookie running backs. I love rookies. I like these rookie running backs probably more than I've ever liked an entire class before. Nix, Dak, Sam Darnold, Achane, Kyren, Breece Hall, Scatterbo, Tank Bigsby, Garendo, Lamb, Hunter, Debo, Tillman, Iomanor, Michael Wilson, Andrews, Kyle Pitts, and Fanning Jr. I like this team a lot. It's weekly, so, and to answer some of the concerns about Smitty, I can't believe you didn't draft more wide receivers early. That's what the trending says to do. You got to draft. Don't you know the data that you're more likely to advance if you draft 6 wide receivers in the first 8 rounds? I don't care about any of that. I'm drafting around what I believe to be true, not what last year tells you. And at the end of the day, in weeklies, you could essentially have just 4 wide receivers if you wanted. I'm not saying that's smart. I didn't do that. But you just need, you're not even worried about bye weeks. You're just saying, like, you could have everything around week 1 and say that I don't care about any backups. I'm literally drafting this team to win week 1, and then I'm piecing out. I'm deucing. So there's no locked in, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you got to have this many receivers through. This is weeklies. There's no rules in weeklies. There's not even a long-term amount of data to look at because it's only been out for a couple years now. There's no way to know what's the actual best strategy because there's more strategies in weeklies than there are in any other contest because you literally could play for one individual week. You could walk into Buymageddon and say, what teams are not on a bye? Let me draft all of these players and not worry about anything but that week and have the best shot at winning Buymageddon that one individual week than having a very low chance of winning every week individually. So there's so many strategies at play, and I feel so fine with having Lamb, Hunter, Debo, and then it just has some other guys to help if for any reason there's a banged up, week for one of these guys that I could still potentially try and score, to win or place. But at the end of the day, my lineup that's going to win me 20K is Bo Nix or Dak, Achane, Kyren, Hall, or Scatterbo, Bigsby, Grendo if they're starting or something could knock off, Breece or whatever. And then Lamb, Hunter, and Debo and Andrews or Pitts need the ball. Like, that's my 20K right there. That's all I'm worried about. Who else is on the phone line? Rock out, and then back to Travis, then Deron, then DJ, and then I might be out of here tonight. I don't know if I'm going to do another one. We'll see. Go ahead, rock out. I'll look at the other teams.
Can I give
I got yours up, Tebow. We'll look at your squad. Go ahead, rock out.
Every time rock out starts with, "Can I give you my worst team?" It ends up being a smash.
It's just what he said.
And I know that.
He doesn't think
every
time.
time.
Go ahead, rock out. It's just his line. Go ahead.
Quarterback, Mahomes, Stafford, Donald. Running back, Irving, Kyra Williams, Henderson, Scatterbo, Grendo, Ray Davis. Wide receiver, JJ, Worthy, Judy, Beck, Coker, Michael Wilson. Tight end, Kelsey.
That's good, Kelsey, and then Mahomes stacked. I like that. I like your team, rock out. I think you did good. It's a good squad. Tebow's team with Murray, Fields. See how he only has 2 QBs? You don't need to have 3 you don't need to have 3 tight ends even. You could literally have 1 tight end if you want. You're running the risk of if they get hurt, then you're no longer competing for 20K each week. But the theory is that you're stacking in a way that you feel you're having the best shot, and there's a certain position you're trying to accomplish a goal with. So Murray and Fields are fine. Gibbs, Bucky, Judkins, Mason, love the RB stable. Marv, Rice, Devontae Smith, Besh, Harris, like it. Likely, Gesicki, Okonkwo. Nice team. I like it. Who was the other one that was in here? We had a few of you. Mahomes, Caleb, Derrick Henry, JT, Tyreek, DK, Kittle. I like it, but if I had to guess, it won't win. Papa with the 1 pick, I feel like it was just the Harvey. Harvey screwed it up. This is a draft where Harvey screwed the team up because you left too much meat on the bone. You can't take Harvey at the 4th round pick. You just can't. That's not where he's going. It really doesn't give you any sort of. It just when you reach, your odds of winning go down. When you don't play the ADP game, not draft off ADP. I'm not saying and you know what someone will say in the chat? Just get your guys. Yes, but there's a math involved here. There's probability. There's the fact that if you don't draft and manipulate ADP, and you just go get your guys, because it's going to be a close call by the time I get 24 picks down and back. That's 24 picks. You could get them 24 picks later, but you're rushing it so that you can get them in the 4th round. You end up with Baker, McCarthy, Herbert, T-Law. In weekly winners, T-Law could score 50. I mean, the quarterback room isn't what's going to hold this back. Jacobs, Harvey, Tyrone Tracy, Chase, AJB, Sutton, Jonu. It's good. The thing is, do I think it could win 20K? Yes, this is the tournament where any team could really win 20K. The team that wins 20K doesn't have to look like a pot of gold necessarily, but you will notice that the teams that win are loaded. They're stacked. And at the end of the day, you're almost going up against a Hurts or a Josh Allen or something almost guaranteed. But could Baker have a 45-point game? Yeah, but the odds of everything going perfectly during the 1 week that Baker or Herbert or T-Law score like a top 1, 2, or 3 overall player, you have to have everything also line up, and it just makes it a lot harder. And Harvey, how many players did you miss? What did you miss? Like when we go to the board and we look who you could have got instead of Harvey, it was just too early. You can't just say, I like Bucky, I'm going to take him at 5 overall. And then you say, got to get my guy. I know he wouldn't be there in the 2nd round. You can't do that. You just can't do that. It's not a way to build a team. It's not. You're going to lose too many times every time you try that approach. So Harvey, you could have got Breece Hall, which honestly, you want to argue Harvey's better. I'm fine with that. It's okay. You could have got potentially the thing is, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's almost like, not to walk back my chastising of him, but it's like we sniped one another out of even having good talent in round 5. So I'm looking at round 5. I would take Breece over Harvey because you could get Harvey back is kind of the point usually. Maybe not with me in the draft, and that's part of why your calculation. But I would be able to get Breece Hall and Harvey instead of Harvey and Cortland Sutton, essentially. But you look down, like Rice. I like Rashee Rice a lot. I probably would have went Rice and then got Harvey or Breece Hall if I was you. I think that's a much better approach. But I will admit, round 5 looks like we cleaned out the round. And everybody, that's why I hate draft. I love drafting with you all, but I also hate it. Because when you do things like this Harvey maneuver, it just pulls everyone up. And then when we get to round 5, the guys we quietly don't like that still sit there and they look like paper tigers, but there are paper tigers, it ends up just screwing with the whole draft. It's craziness. But, good draft, everyone. I had fun. I think my team's pretty good, but I don't know. I was so excited about the beginning, and I like where it's at, but I don't know if I feel like could this win at all? I think Mahomes fell. If I wasn't a damn Snipe City, Knicks, Dak's been a top 5 quarterback before. Knicks can be a top 5 quarterback. So I think I got a good quiet rotation there. Like if I'm going to compete with a Josh Allen or a guy like that, I feel like it could be pretty good. Achane, Kyron, Hall, Scatterboo, Bigsby, Grendo. I love the running back stable. The running back stable is not going to be the reason I don't win 20K one given week. Lamb, Hunter, Debo, Andrew Pitts. I like it. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think that's a team that could win 1 week? I think it could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
I think it could.
It's kind of funny because if you're going to compare the weeklies to anything, you almost got to, the thing that's closest to the way you need to draft weeklies is like a weekly or a daily battle royal that you do on Underdog. It's just you got to look at it like a daily. When you draft those players, you're drafting them for that specific day or that specific week only, and that's how you got to look at these weeklies. The same way as the battle royals.
Well, what are you saying though? Because you're essentially drafting it for all 17 weeks, or you're identifying one week that you want to play for, and that's a little hard. I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah, but you're drafting the same way though. Is what I'm saying is, because it'll be easier once the schedule comes out and you can look at the schedule. You're going to see the players where they're supposedly you think their weakest games and the best chance they have to get the most points, and then you can use the same style that you do in a Rumble to draft your team that's going to last you.
So
all
to your
year
point,
long.
just to clarify something, a lot of people will wait to do the Best Ball Manias. They'll literally say the best time to draft is in the final couple weeks, and the reason they say that, and I don't necessarily agree. I think there's pros and cons. The reason they say that is, once you know what the comebacks are and the ways that, to maximize the Week 16 matchups and all those things that people like to, toss around as the best ways to draft. And again, that's chewing gum and walking at the same time. If you're new to best ball, don't even try it. Just spend 1 year drafting the best players you can draft, and then learn how to chew gum and walk at the same time the next year. Meaning, don't try and draft for Week 16 outcome while you're trying to draft best player available, while you're trying to fill out the right amount of team on a 20-second clock. You're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to get screwed out of a good team, and you're going to have zero chance. But once you get seasoned and you go through a year of best ball, you can start doing two things at once. But here's where people say, this is what I'm trying to say. Hold on one second. This is what I'm trying to say. That if you're worried about the Week 16 matchups, and you want to know that in Best Ball Mania, so you hold off on drafting on Best Ball. You're right. If you spend all of your Best Ball drafts once you have schedule and all these different things, and closer to the season, you have injuries out of the way and all these risers and fallers and named starters and who's starting. Yeah, you are isolating all the problematic situations that you could encounter, but you're also missing out on the, RJ Harvey like we got on night one, where he was a 9th round pick, or right now, I think we're very much seeing value, like even Hunter, for example. Hunter's going at the 4 or 5-ish turn. I'd say more 4 than 5, but we'll call it 4 to 5. There's a chance that Hunter becomes a 3rd rounder as we get closer to the season. So there's pros and cons. You're going to have a couple on some of your teams. I'd almost say almost every early draft you draft, you'll have one player that at least one player you look back on and you go, oh, damn, why did I take him? Like when you look at Corum. Every team you have Kyron and Corum on from early drafts, now you feel like you just punted the cuff situation, because now it's not Corum. Corum's not even the cuff anymore. It's Jarquez Hunter, who's going to eat him for breakfast. So, there's pros and cons, but for every draft that I have that draft and another one where I've got Hunter in round 9 or 10. And he's my wide receiver 3 or 4. So there's pros and cons to all of it. Don't let somebody make you think that there's an answer for everything. There's always 2 ways to look at anything best ball related. Go ahead, Travis, or go ahead, Ron.
Well, this is how I look at that situation too. It's kind of like, doing the big boards, right? When you're doing the big boards or little boards, you don't know where all these rookies are going. So you just got to guess on talent alone and hope that they land in a good spot. But now with these drafts coming up, I like the fact that Underdog went to a 20-second clock, you got a 30-second clock, and then you got the 8-hour. So what I would say is, you get great value for players at drafting early, or when Mania comes out. But do some of the 20 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Do some of those, but also do some 8 hours. And that way, because the 8 hours last longer, and then we're getting closer and closer to the schedule release. So when the schedule release comes out, you can pivot on some stuff when you see the schedule because you're in a long 8-hour or 10-hour draft that you're able to get in. So a good mix would be
here's
to
the
do
other
some
thing
of each
that people need to
format.
keep in mind. So right now there's 20-second drafts, there's 30-second drafts, and there's 8-hour drafts. Be careful in the 8-hour drafts because I did this last year. I joined like 70 to 75 best ball manias at near the end, and they switch from an 8-hour timer to a 1-hour timer, and you don't even know when it's going to happen. It doesn't give you like a warning or anything. It really should. I slept about 10 plus hours one day, woke up to auto. All of my teams were autoed. All 70 of those were autoed. Maybe 1 or 2 weren't. And I was like 3-4 rounds like through auto. So I got completely screwed on. So be careful. But here that's not my point here. My point is, so here that they have 20-second, 30-second, and 8-hour. The thing you got to keep in mind is in the 8-hour, you're probably, and I'm just spitballing this and guessing here. You probably have, I would guess, a lot less quality drafters inside this 8-hour timer pool, because most of the people that are really, really good at this and they're more capable. I'm not saying anybody can't win this. Anybody can win. Just like, Jim from accounting that doesn't know fantasy football wins the work league once in a while. It happens. The auto team could win. But at the end of the day, the people that join that have like the most ability to win, the most likelihood to win, they tend to draft, and they want to draft now, and they want to get it all resolved now. They don't like variables like Ron said, where something could change down the road. They want to draft within the confines of what's going on now, and they just tend to be a faster drafter in terms of the long stretch out draft. This is for people that most of the time, I would say, like, there's still a lot of people that do slow drafts, like Ron saying he does a certain mix of them, but a lot of people will do these that are really, really good. So if you want to find Harvey, my whole point is this: if you want to find Harvey at 6.10, you're more likely to find Harvey at 6.10 in a slow draft than you are to find Harvey at 6.10 in the 20 or 30-second draft. That's going to be my expectation anyway, just because you're going to have a lot more novice in the 8-hour grouping.
That's kind of true. I think that's kind of going away from that, because these drafters that max out every year 150 drafts, they're looking at volume, so they're not gonna, and they all set their own ADPs and their draft, and they preset it, so they get in fast. So they do a combination of stuff with the 20 seconds, where they'll just draft and let it draft for them, so they can get their volume, so they can reach that 150 mark, or get close to it, and at the end they might have 25.
I'm talking like a 60-40 advantage. I'm saying so 60% of the 8-hour people are probably more novice, and 40% are still people that are also like you're saying. The people in these drafts are all still doing slow drafts because they max out. They got it, or they're not going to be able to do enough. But I'm just saying that because they're not in as many slow drafts as they are fast drafts, it makes this percentage 60% of it is a like a lesser draft pool. Like if you go into a live draft, if you go into a live draft, you'll see a lot of the red shields, and then if you go into a late night draft, you'll see a little bit less. So the later you draft, probably the better. The more you're going to draft with a novice, and then and then if you draft in a slow draft, you might see less of those, red shields and so on. So you just got to look out for it. And the shields tell you how like experienced the drafter is. All right, I'm going to cycle everybody off.
How much they draft?
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't mean they're better, but all right, Ron, final thoughts. I'm probably going to head out here tonight.
Well, yeah, on that is like the draft time. That's what I was going to bring up is some, to get into it where you're dealing with, and it's also because you have people doing weird stuff, the novice doing weird stuff. But I'd say between like 2:30 in the morning and 6 a.m. in the morning 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning, depending on your time zone, is a great time to draft. I mean, you could go do it by East Coast time, depending, so anywhere on East Coast time, if you draft between 2:30 and let's say 7 in the morning, you're gonna more than likely get away from those hardcore drafters because nobody's up that early drafting in the morning. You're gonna get a lot of people that
you
are. You
also get a lot of timeouts because if you that's probably another reason why too. Is you jump into a draft at like 3 a.m. It takes forever to fill. You'll be sitting there for like an hour, and then it fills real quick, and then there's like 2 or 3 people timing out because they're not there anymore. All right, Ron, I'm out of here. Appreciate you, bro.
That's the other thing. Yep, later, Travis.
Should I trade Herbert at 2.6 for 1.2 and 2.2 in Dynasty? Herbert and the one. So should I trade Herbert and the 2.6 for the 1.2 and 2.2 in Dynasty? You didn't say if it's Superflex or not. So I would say if it's Superflex, it becomes a lot harder question. I think it's funny how a lot of people assume that everybody does Superflex. Like some people are like, hey, where's the QBs? And they do a ranking. You're like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, this isn't Superflex. I don't know. If you need a quarterback, and it's a 1 QB, I could understand the temptation, but oh wait, this is 2.6, not 1.6. Okay, so this has to be Superflex. It has to be 1.2 and 2.2 for Herbert and 2.6. It has to be Superflex. There's no way you're trading that in a non-Superflex. So I'd rather have the 1.2 personally, but I don't know your quarterback situation. So I need more information, Toner. This definitely, I know it's Superflex by your question, but let me know more. Ron, appreciate you. I made trades to get 1.2, 1.9, and 2.2. I got Hunter, Harvey, and Golden. I don't love Golden as much as the average bear, but love the Hunter and Harvey selections. Love them, bro. I would have taken Kyle Williams over Golden, personally. That's me. I'm crazy. I probably would trade down if I could to do that, though. Yeah, I'm just telling you that's my valuation. Please ask Ziggy how he got that 39-year-old TV host take. There's nothing Ziggy doesn't answer those kinds of questions. He's not like Kruger where he'll tell you the reasoning. Ziggy doesn't. He just answers and that's it. He doesn't know he answered it. He doesn't have any sort of memory, so there's nothing to ask him. But he doesn't. He would have no clue. No clue. Yeah, I basically asked him and go, I don't know how to help you with that. Like you're just so used to Kruger, Sim, that you could ask Kruger to rationalize something and Kruger will. Ziggy's literally just returning one answer and that's it. Dynasty, Mahomes, CJ, Brees, Braylon, Kyron, Corum, Garendo, Javante, JJ Puka, MHJ, Waddle, Pittman, Kirk, Hollywood, Brute Bride. Can I trade for a pick? I love. Is this Superflex? I don't think it is. So no one's gonna trade for CJ Stroud anyway. Brees, Braylon, Kyron. So you got Kyron. You need Jarquez Hunter. It sucks that Corum's no longer the cuff. Probably. I mean, he could be for a while. Who knows? But I think Jarquez Hunter is gonna literally eat Corum for breakfast and date his mother and bring his mom home past midnight. That's basically what the new video is gonna be. I think for Jarquez Hunter, he's gonna say, "You're in my seat. Get out of my seat, kid." And he's going to say, I'm taking your mama out and she ain't coming home till after midnight. And Corum's just going to sit there and do nothing. Corum, Garendo, Javante. So JJ, Puka, MHJ, Waddle. I'm trading Waddle if I can. I don't know what else you could throw together for that, but like Waddle for a pick. If you want to pick, I don't know. You just keep trying, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, would I maybe try and use Waddle to turn? And I love MHJ, but do I want like Lamb? Sure. Waddle and MHJ for Lamb, or Waddle and MHJ for Jamar Chase, or Waddle and MHJ for, like Neighbors.
You like Puka or MHJ long term?
I guess Puka because of the dynasty value, but because people will value him. And he's going to have a great... I mean, it's so tough. It's so tough.
Close.
Yeah. Smitty, you reached on Harvey in a late night draft. Not 48 overall, my boy. Have I taken him in the middle of a round when I don't think he'll be back to the next middle of a round? It's happened. I neither confirm or deny that.
Toner updated his other QB.
Yeah. So go use Waddle to get a pick, Jonathan. But loaded question. I don't know what you can really get for that. I mean, does anybody have an idea what you could get for the Waddle in terms of a pick? Like, can you get Harvey for Waddle? Probably, especially where Harvey's going. Again, I was wrong. Harvey's not getting respected, and so we're taking advantage. And I think you could easily get Harvey for Waddle. Personally, Toner says QBs are Penix, T-Law, and Goff or Gino. Yes, it was Superflex. Okay. Geez, Toner. I as much as I like Herbert, he's kind of like handcuffed in a way and not playing at his highest potential anyway. Ron Navy with a $20 holler, dropping 20 wads.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron says, Smitty, not to jinx myself, but Pickens survived the draft, and we didn't draft any wide receivers. LOL. You're still safe right now, but he still could get traded, Ron. But you are correct. Right now, young man, you are winning. Other QBs. So, I don't know, bro. I think I like T-Law and Penix enough that I don't. It was 1.2, right?
Yeah, 1.2.
Okay, so let's think about this logically. Yeah. So if we are drafting in a startup draft, where is Hampton going? Probably 2, 3. Like, could it be late 2? I mean, it could be late 2. Superflex.
Yep. Yeah, probably around. I was going
to where's Herbert going?
When you factor all the
here's the problem, though, is like it makes sense to make this trade because there's no way in hell I'm drafting Herbert over Hampton. But the problem is I'm still going to have the ability to take the players that I want to maneuver around that. I'm being forced right now to take Herbert. You know, it's either Herbert or nothing in this scenario. Whereas I would take Hampton. I wouldn't take Herbert. I'd take someone else, but I don't have that luxury. I guess I'm going to say I'd rather have Hampton, or you could call it Henderson, or you could call it Harvey, whatever you want. Or Hunter, because it's the 1.2. You could technically take Hunter, and I love that. So Hampton or Hunter, let's say. Yeah. And then I'm just going to tell you, keep at it, bro. Keep the QBs. Penix is fine. T-Law could bounce back like Baker. But I think Dak is a really attractive go-get in Dynasty. I think Mahomes is a super attractive go-get in Dynasty. And you could use things like first rounders to try and get that done. I'd give a future first rounders for Mahomes in a heartbeat. So my advice is to say get or keep whatever side it was. The 1.2 side is the side I want. Unfortunately, I'm not just going to take the quarterback side. Hit that like button and subscribe to the best fantasy football show. Thank you, Kobo. Appreciate you dropping a wad on screen, my boy. And Channel Lift says, Smitty, who's your D&D list based on value? My do not draft list based on value? I don't have that off the top of my head to give you, but I will say I'm not drafting Christian McCaffrey. I'm not drafting James Cook. I'm not drafting, in some cases, Saquon Barkley. Not saying he's a total void, but I don't find myself ever drafting him when push comes to shove, because I want lamb chops. I want JJ. I want Jamar Chase if I'm in that top 3, and then top 4. And then if I'm going RB in the top 5, it's Gibbs or Bijan, and Barkley's never available after that. So in a way, you could say Barkley. 472 total touches, right, Travis? That's a lot of touches. I mean, 434. I was at 434 attempts. 436 carries last.
It was 430.
Carries, 430 plus carries. Channel Lift. That's a lot. That leads to a breakdown. 370 leads to breakdown. 430. You out of your mind? So that's a tall order. I'm not going near. I'd draft Henry to trade him, but you're going to find it hard to trade Henry even in redraft after 1 month of football. I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think. Just take a better player that you want is my advice. Toner with a $20 hauler, dropping it like it's hot in the building.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Smitty, best fantasy creator in the game. Thank you, Toner. Appreciate you. I wish I could give you better advice on that trade, man. The only thing I'd also tell you is, and tell me if you think this is possible, Toner. Are you able to get rid of one of your QBs? And I'd prefer you keep Penix Jr. But let's call it T. Law. His other quarterback was who? It was T. Law. It was Penix, and it.
Gino.
Yeah.
Gino and Herbert.
Oh, he has Herbert. Yeah, so then I want the 1-2. So then I do that trade. I get the 1-2. Whatever size the 1-2, I want the 1-2. So then it's like, can you trade T. Law and a first rounder for Mahomes? Can you trade T. Law and, I don't know, dare I say 2 first rounders for Mahomes? I mean, it's super flex. I mean, it kind of just depends on how good you're.
Yeah, all depends on what you.
Are you trading?
How confident are you?
And are you trading? Are you trading essentially in your mind the 1.12 and let's call it the 1.10? You know, maybe you don't win both, but that's what you got to ask yourself. Am I essentially trading early second round picks in my mind for Patrick Mahomes? And I don't know that I'd give up a first for Dak necessarily. Didn't he have?
Said T-Law on a first would get it done.
T-Law on a first would get the Mahomes deal done?
That's what he said. He said definitely T-Law on a first would get it done.
You've just been Smitty approved.
When I say this, I can't guarantee it, okay? But I almost can. Trust me, almost. Fully, almost. When I say that Mahomes is coming for everyone. And just like everyone said Achane would get hurt, Kyron would get hurt, just remember, all the people that are so adamant about everything all the time, Mahomes is coming for everyone. I haven't seen Mahomes smile once this offseason. You know how he goes, hey guys, and he goes to a podium, or he's talking to reporters, or he's walking into the stadium, and he goes, he's got his dad bod. And he's just like, he's looking like this, and he's walking in, and he's coming in with his dad bod. I see Mahomes, new haircut. What does a haircut mean? When your girl breaks up with you, or you break up with your girl, what's the first thing somebody does? They change their vibe, their style, they get in shape, they shave their head. Maybe he's going through, who knows? But yeah, it didn't end well with him. What did he do? Shaved his head. Said, I'm coming in. None of this curly Q, Mickey Mouse stuff. No dad bod, and no curly Qs. We're coming straight in to ball. Shaved head, getting fit. He's lifting like a monster. He's got guns like you've never seen before. And I've got those clips right here. Hold on, I got it. You got Mahomie just absolutely ripping it. Here's one blurry shot. Here's another one. Look at the guns. Look at the cannons. Look at that arm. That is quite the cannon. Look at the fade. Look at the short hair. I did lie. He's smiling right there. But the only reason he's smiling is because he knows he's going to slam everyone into pieces this year. That's the only shot I've seen him smiling. Hopefully this next one he's not smiling, because I'm looking like a... There. He's not smiling there. Look at that. He's in good shape. He looks younger. When you lose weight and you thin down, you look younger. Please don't smile in this photo. Please don't. Don't make me look bad. Damn it! Damn it! 2 of the photos, he's smiling. All right, hold on. Don't be smiling in this photo, please. Okay, look, he's serious. He's very serious. No more, except for this photo, no more Kermit the Frog. It's all gone. I think he's even going to have a deeper voice by all this. He's coming for everybody, bro. If you can trade in a super flex, a first rounder and T-Law for Mahomes, I would do it. Now, I will say, I think T-Law could have a good year. So, don't give him away like candy. Who else is on the phone line? I got all the super chats, I think, hammered out. Thank you, Toner. Thank you, Channel Lift. Thank you, Ron Navy. Thank you, Toner, for the $20 hauler. Ron Navy for the $20 hauler. Lift, appreciate all your super chats. Coble, appreciate you. Sim Valley, Jonathan, and Bates. Who's on the phone line? Justin, you're live. Then DJ.
Ron Navy's.
Yeah, Ron Navy. I said that. Thank you, Ron Navy. Justin Rush, then DJ, then Rock Out, and then Travis in that order. Go ahead, Justin. We're getting off the phone line, so make it as quick as you can.
Yes, I know you and Ron were talking about kind of like the best times to draft and stuff like that are hacked. Like if you open up the underdog profile and like you hit refresh, and after you do, you see like the two-person, and it's like 50 or like 100. And you see it like halfway filled, meaning like there's one person in there waiting. Every once in a while, go in there. Because I'll tell you what happens every once in a while. Every once in a while, I jump in. And you know what happens? I start drafting, and his pick comes up, and it goes from 30 all the way to 0. And before I know it, his build only has one quarterback and one tight end, and I won like really $80.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You're going in to go one.
Yeah, he's going to time out, and it's only one guy, and it was worth 100. Like, he forgot he jumped in, you know?
God, man. This guy's out hustling. He's not even trying to play the normal tournaments. He's out hustling.
Yeah.
You're like Woody Harrelson.
I got at least 6.
You're like Woody Harrelson and White Man Can't Jump. You're just out hustling, bro.
Like in the past
out hustling. He's in there trying to take advantage of someone's hard-earned dollars. The poor man's, been working an 8-hour graveyard shift after he worked a normal 10-hour shift at a construction yard. He's falling asleep on the lazy boy, and then Justin's in there just trying to steal his money. Well, I mean, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right? Every W is really.
Yeah, I mean that funds my ability to go into
funding.
Drafts, That's all I got. Appreciate you, fellas.
It's funding your challenging Smitty 1v1. All right, later, bro. That's hilarious. I was wondering what he was saying at first, but then I'm like, oh, he's going into 1v1. But what was he saying? He waits until the person's sitting there for like a while. Like, Justin? What's your timer? Like, what constitutes a good opportunity? We got BBQ gifting memberships like a madman. BBQ.
Give me $50 holler. Right there by the river, Smitty. Give me $50. Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you, BBQ. BBQ dropping 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, my boy. Did he say how long he waited? Like, so what he's saying is he goes into the NFL, like you sort by originals, you go to NFL and you just swipe over. Wait, where are those even located now? I'm in NFL. Where do you find those now? Oh, active draft lobby. Then you can get them that way. Okay. I didn't. Then messing with the navigation. It definitely. You have to go to lobby and then you got to find lobby and then go. Okay. So he goes into like the $100 draft. Like right now, I'm going to look at it. Okay. So I'm going to the $100 draft 2-person, and it says when filled. It doesn't say one person's in there yet. So what he's saying is he sits there and he watches somebody come in, and then when a certain amount of time has gone by, what's the time frame, Tebow? He realizes the person forgets they're in it, and then he jumps in real quick, and then they just time out, and then he dominates them and takes their $100. That's what he's basically saying. Sorry for the likely smile, Smitty. I promise likely was who I was targeting. It's okay, bro. You're like, I'm ripping on it a little bit, but it's like you're paying your hard-earned money to try and win, $100,000 or $20,000 each week. Like, I have no say, and I shouldn't have any say over who you pick. If likely you believe no matter who I have is going to win you 20K, don't let anybody else step on that. So you don't have to apologize just because I rip on it, because I announce out loud what I'm going to do and you take them. It's okay. I promise I wasn't targeting him. For what it's worth, I didn't like having to pay up to get him, says Tebow. Thank you for the $10 hauler, Tebow to the moon. It's all good, bro. He's basically
to the moon.
Basically paying for the draft to refund it to me. He's smiling, spreading lies, says Coble. He's smiling, Smitty spreading lies. He's smiling, Smitty spreading lies. What's that from?
Well, Mahomes.
Oh, yes,
Mahomes
yes, you're right. I definitely. I thought I made a dumb statement. I said Mahomes isn't even smiling anymore. And then it's like, oh. Move out of the way, bro. Okay, yeah, see, look how serious he is. Look, he's not smiling at... Shit. Stop playing around, Mahomes. Get serious. He looks fit, though. I'm really excited about it. Really excited about it. Thank you, Tebow, for the $10 hauler. Thank you, Coble, for the $2 hauler. And then we have, on the phone line, we have Justin again. Real quickly, Justin, I got to go.
No, I heard you say, like, how long do I wait? I mean, this process, it takes a couple of eggs to make an omelet with this. Like, sometimes I give it, like, 5 to 10. Sometimes it's something where, like, if someone's just in there when I open up Underdog, I jump in and just give it a shot, like, you know.
Yeah, you do.
But you're going to get plenty of them. If you jump in enough, I promise you're going to get plenty of guys that just, it's like they're just asleep at the wheel. The girl started talking to him, and she wants them to do the dishes and stuff, and, like,
the thing is, though, like, you're auto drafting, so you're still taking great guys. So it's like the only thing you can do is they draft too many at one position or something like that. But yeah.
No, but that's the thing. What you're looking for is that one quarterback and one tight end build, bro. It's going to be the same build every time they miss.
What do you mean?
If from start to finish they just don't make picks, bro, they're going to get.
Oh, because the ADP. You're saying because the ADP will only force one quarterback on the roster.
Yeah, because basically what it'll do is it'll run through wide receivers and running backs, and it'll be something like, what are we at now? We're at like 18 players, right? So it'll be like, okay, 8 running backs and 8 wide receivers or something. And then at the end, their last 2 picks will be like a quarterback and a tight end or something.
Yeah.
Because, like, it'll
sorry,
make
Ron.
you...
no, Ron, I missed Ron's super chat. But go ahead while I pull that up.
But it'll, after you hit, like, 8 running backs or something, it'll, like, say you're done with running backs. You can't get more than 8 or something. Some weird... I think what it is it maxes out at the wide receivers first. Because if you let it auto draft, I've done this enough times, I've seen it unfold. If you do it enough times, it maxes out at the wide receivers at like 10. Then I think the next one it does is the running backs somewhere. Then like your last 2 picks eventually are quarterbacks and running backs. It basically happens almost the same way every time.
All right, my boy. We'll see you later. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Have a good night.
All right, Ron Navy dropping his first bowl prediction because he's got like 5 on tap that he's got to drop. So his first bowl prediction is Burrow will break the record with 56 TDs. I like it. Ron, you missed my Steelers. You got to rewatch the earlier show because I talk about the Steelers not making the playoffs. I broke down the division and went through all it. You got to go to that part of the show where I'm breaking down your division. Thank you very much. DJ, final thoughts.
Yeah, real quick. Excellent show. I learned so much about the best ball. Like I said, I'm going 3 years in. With regard to Scottaboo, I think he's going to hit the field, sooner than later. I don't know if I misunderstood or I didn't hear, but his touchdown equity, I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 10, 12, just being him. So I think there's an advantage, regardless of touches, how they use them, etc. I can see definitely 20 and in, definitely goal line. In addition, of course, his catching prowess. But I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 10, 12 touchdowns, just on the touchdown equity alone. That moves him, and as far as I'm concerned, or in my opinion, in that first round. 9, 10, 11, 12. And I have picked 201 in my rookie draft. And I'm contemplating whether I should move it with the 2026 first and whatnot, or stick and pick. And I'm thinking we'll see how the board drops. But I jump all over.
Scatterboot. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, later, bro.
And everybody else.
Yes, Scat. There's a lot of people that doubt Scat. They just, for some reason, they just, I don't know why he's got such the anti-cult, the cultic vibe, like G Money saying, Audra Estime, remember his name. First of all, we've already remembered, we already had to learn his name, and we're starting to try and forget it. So, I don't know if he's joking. This has got to be a joke, but I've seen it 3 times today, so maybe not. The one guy asking, when we're going over Harvey, he's like, no bounce back season out of Estime, Smitty? No estimation there? No estimation? What are we doing? I got him in 4 leagues, Smitty. G Money, he's got to be kidding. He's got to be kidding. Especially the way you word it, like as if it's secretive. There's a guy named Estime. Remember his name. That's what you say about somebody that no one knows anything about. Like, this is a guy that's already failed. Yeah, not likely. McLaughlin's got more value than Estime. I'd probably say he's the backup. I don't know. We'll see. I don't even think there is a backup. Sean Payton will tell you that the backup's Harvey. The starter's Harvey. He's both. Scatterboot to the moon. Yeah, I don't know why. So the cultic followings behind like Waddle and Tesla and Jacoby Myers, where I haven't heard Jacoby Myers' name ever since the draft. I heard one person say, "What do you think about Jacoby Myers?" There's so many Jacoby Myers, fanboys out there and cultic followings. I don't hear him anymore. I don't hear him at all anymore. Yeah, Besh is best. And I draft a lot of Jack Besh in best ball because he falls to that like wide receiver 4 or 5 when you're building early RB, and he's a great player to grab. But yeah, the cultic following is crazy. But the anti-cultic following is there as well, and the anti-cultic following to freaking Scatterbo is through the roof. These people, it's what it is people that have they're doubling and tripling down on their bad comment, their bad take. Like, I already doubted him, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. Just gotta keep doing it. And most of the bad takes came before his revolutionary, monster final affair in college football, where he just turned every hater into at least a wannabe believer, but they can't make the leap. But I mean, his stock went through the moon. I mean, Scatterboot's got the heart of a lion. He's the new. I'm gonna change the Lionheart to Scatterboot. Scatterboot's the new Lionheart.
I like that a lot.
Hey, I'm gonna redo the whole thing. Rock out. Final thoughts while you're there. The Lionheart. It's the Lionheart. I am Scatman.
Yeah. Last year when I was getting Kenneth Walker, like some of the drafts I were in, people would take my Charbonnet back to it like 2 rounds earlier. What would you say about that?
Take Charbonnet 2 rounds earlier? Like where?
Yeah, people would try to snipe me and take Charbonnet 2 rounds ahead of 18.
Oh, so you get him as a cuff.
I can't get the cuff.
Well, I mean, I think it just depends, man. Count it out. Don't let it get too close. Don't try and push it. It sounds like maybe you're pushing it. I find Charbonnet is always available if I'm doing a small reach. But I don't think it's something to where, you've got to reach like so far past that it's ridiculous. Like the Harvey reach tonight. I don't think you're having to do that kind of reach. But You know, and you're going to win some and lose some, bro. But at the end of the day, you're playing the law of averages. You know what I mean? And so you want to just count it out and say, okay, looking at Scatterboo's ADP in this contest, everybody's ADP is different in every contest. And remember that ADP is what suggests to people to keep on track too. So even if it's a different ADP and you're like, well, what if people take them earlier? Well, it's going to suggest it and be very influential. So if you look at his ADP and it says 120, pull up the board and look at your next pick. And if your next pick is 115, you're probably good. If your next pick is 120 exactly, then you probably need to consider taking him earlier. But it just depends on if you're 24 picks apart or you're literally drafting the middle of the round, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and you get my two audio messages?
I did not. And on that note, real quickly.
The one, not a new one.
I am Scatman. Can you guys see my screen? Rock out and Travis. I am Scatman. I will score touchdowns.
The Scatman or the Lionheart?
I am both the Scatmobile, Scatman, and Lionheart at the same time. Christopher says Lionheart, Scat. I don't know what your second message means, but okay. Scat Daddy. And a boy. Okay, so Rock Out left me 2 messages. I'll check them now. Hold on.
He's coming home. He's coming home. Gently into the end zone. Wash away your fantasy tears. Gump is not coming home. Gump is not coming home. He got hanged up by a cellular phone.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Rock Out. I got to put that to some music.
Yeah.
He's coming home. He's coming home. Gently into the end zone. Wash away your fantasy tears.
Now, I hate to be picky because you usually are a one-take Willie. Is there any way this is what you know?
Let's see.
All right, here, hold on. That was my message. Let's see. Here's what you did.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
So that's a little bit more, a little bit more artistic. Let me listen.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
I mean, I feel like we're in the studio right now, and I'm not trying to complain, but I feel like this is like I feel like I paid $5 for this one, and I paid $50 on Fiverr for the other.
He's coming home. He's coming home. Gently into the end zone. Wash.
You know what I'm saying? Is there a way? Is it too greedy for me to ask for a remake? Take him this for me. Take him 30
That's
seconds. He's like, we'll see. All right, let's get a little bit more boys to men on it. All right, my boy, appreciate you. Rock out to the moon. Either way, I'm grateful. Thank you. He sounds. Yeah. He's not down, is he? It's the first time I've ever returned one of his songs. I hope I didn't hurt his feelings. You know what I mean? It's just like that other one's just vibing. Like I feel like I'm listening to American Idol here. Hold on.
I'm coming home.
Yeah, get your lighters out.
Let the world.
I mean, I just, and this one just sounds like.
Gump is not coming home. Gump is not coming home. He got hanged up by a cellular phone.
I'm probably keeping that one. Rock Out, if you're listening, you don't need. Well, no, redo them both. Redo them both. I just make sure you say cellular phone the same way. I love them. They're great. Are you still Are you still in on Shador and Underdog? He was in before. I was in before the draft. The Cleveland QB situation seems to be a mess at this point. I want no part of Cleveland. Yeah, Justin. I mean, you can't draft a guy that's going to get you 0 points for a significant amount of time, or at least it's hard. In weeklies, I can do it. In weeklies, I can get behind things like that. But in a normal setting, it's kind of dangerous. Although, sometimes when I get to like a deep place in the draft, like the 18th round, 17th round, and I don't have a third quarterback and I have enough room for it and I plan for it, if I've got QBs that I literally am not worried at all about them getting hurt early on, it's not the worst move in the world. Like if you're looking at I'd rather have Milrow, because I think he'll be starting. So I'll pick Milrow. But if I'm looking at a bunch of trash, I mean, it's hard to say like Shador isn't somebody you maybe grab, but we'll see. Thank you for the question, my boy. And then last one of the evening is from Audric Estime and Vidal to the moon. I mean, that's about how bad it is to say you're in the Estime business right now. That's like being in the red box business right now. Like someone saying, the red boxes at Circle K and at 7-Eleven. It's like, hey, just want to let you know, honey, earlier, you tell your wife, earlier today I invested in a red box. I invested in Vidal and Estime, honey, and I bought a red box. People will be renting these things till the end of time, honey. It's a great investment. The red box is still in. It's still in. It'll bounce back. Vidal will bounce back. Estime will bounce back. Nice job, Coble. That might be a video. Might have to make that a video. The red box. Who's deserving of that? Like Estime is not even worth a video, but like who's deserving of they're done. It's like a red box. Anybody have a player that
could be Core?
It could be. I guess if we're promoting, if we're promoting, you know what, we could do that with Harvey. Harvey's video could be about that. It could be Estime's the red box. Harvey's the digital streaming service. Yeah, we could make this about Harvey. That's good. That'll work. That's gonna be. Let me write that down. That's awesome. Red box, baby. Red box. I'm making that. That's gonna be Harvey. He's gonna be at his. Does everybody put in the chat? Do you have Circle K or 7-Eleven or both? By you, I want to make it the most relevant. Or no, maybe I'll just make it a convenience store. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need to use the logo. I don't need to use the logo. 7-Eleven. So maybe it'd be like the 8-Eleven convenience store. I'm locked in on Scatman. You're not higher on Scataboo than me, because I'm Scatman. The 2.1, if he falls, Burden, Caleb. Burden, Caleb, Loveland, Scataboo will be there. Thanks to you and Travis for the hard suggestion. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Tyrone Tracy has to be Robin now. Regulated to Robin.
That could be good. Let's do that. Robin and Batman. Robin, go get me a moist towelette. Now. Tell your mother I'm bringing her home. I'm bringing her home after midnight. And then the final super chat of the evening from Valley Cruz says, Aunt Genti graphic, please. Aunt Gianti. Aunt Gianti. Isn't that what the guy said? Who was it that said that? Yeah. Aunt Gianti. He's like, Smitty, I drafted Aunt Gianti. And I'm like, you drafted who? You drafted who? Justin says, does anyone else have the thing where their super chats pop up as $50 charges in their bank statement? I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. Yeah,
Well,
you might
I know
be
that
hitting the
one.
wrong button. You might be doing
skimming
you might
some.
be doing the 50 wad. I don't see you like you got to remember, Justin, you're dropping $50 and $25 when you're drinking, and then you're wanting to do a draft with me at the bar while you're outside the bar. So I don't know that. Yeah, you're probably living in a different world than everybody else. This guy was outside the bar the other night drafting instead of inside, and he just wasn't. Remember, Justin, you just weren't picking up what we were saying, and it was like talking to a wall. And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you all for the super chats. Travis, final thoughts.
Yeah, just in a rookie draft, where are you taking Kyle Williams? Because like I've seen a lot of people say they're getting him in the third round. I mean, I guess he could be falling there, but where would you be taking him?
I'd reach in round 2. He's a guy that I consider go get my guy. Go get Kyle Williams in round 2. Like my rule of thumb is once you get past like the first couple picks in round 2, I literally have zero desire to play the ADP game because, and let me explain why real quickly. And Gump, Gump, just hang tight real quick, and you got 10 seconds. No matter how long it takes you to talk, I'm just hanging up because I gotta go. And I don't answer for everybody, Gump, but I answer for you. The phone line's already closed, so hold on one second. But the reason why you're gonna draft in reach is in a rookie draft. This is a rookie draft. Okay, when you're in a rookie draft and you're in round 1, everybody knows what's up. They know all these names. They know what's going on. Once you get into round 2, after like the 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, you start getting into this territory here where no one knows anything. They haven't studied. They have no clue. There's a suggested rank, but they still might just grab a familiar face. They might grab somebody that, you know, they like the team. Like weird things happen in late 2 and into round number 3. So at the end of the day, you get into this like 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5 territory, start grabbing your guy. Because anybody and everybody can go. No one's safe. ADP is bunk at that point. No one has a clue, it seems. More of the unprepared are just going to snag guys, and you're going to be like, bro, a guy was going in the 3rd round, so just grab your guys. But I would say stick to ADP, stay true to it as best you can, not draft off it, manipulate it, take advantage of it from rounds 1 through 2.5, I would say. All right, Gump, you got 10 seconds.
I guess Cole said he's really low on sleeper still, so I guess that's probably why.
Yeah, but it might change. Gump, what can I do for you?
Well, that power forward that I was talking about, I kind of changed my mind on my second guy. The first one is, I like some neighbors. I can't. Gosh, could I get Marv and Rice? Is it possible? After neighbors,
probably in some cases, but neighbors will be your round 1 guy. Marv is your 3rd round guy, and I do see Rice go in the 3rd round though. But if he does fall to 4, if your pick sits right, right, yeah, Rice is in 4 more than he's in 3, I think. Yeah, so yeah, then you got a 2nd round pick to use on somebody. You have a 5th round pick to use on somebody, and you can build a pretty solid team with neighbors, Marv and Rice. Just make sure you're getting somebody great in 2. Like, let's say you get Achane.
You're going to take Debo too, though.
Yeah,
I 15
I got Debo.
Yeah, Debo in round 6. So neighbors.
No. I mean Debo.
Neighbors, Achane, Marv, Rice, Debo in 6. You still got your 5th rounder.
Oh man!
All right, my boy. Gump, you're over your 10 seconds. Appreciate.
Say that one more time. I'll put that in my brain one more
Hit
time.
rewind, Gump. All right, Travis, I'm out of here. Appreciate you.
Yep. Talk to you later. Thanks, Smitty.
Ron Navy with the final super chat of the evening. He says, hit the button, Smitty.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron Navy with the final super chat of the evening. He says, hit the button. Okay, my freaking iPad playing. Smitty, when are you going to open up the post link to League Safe so we can pay the dues in the Moon Man, Mars Man? Pretty soon. I'm as I told you we're gonna probably, not guaranteed, but probably have a Pluto Man League, which will be, I'm kicking this around, which will be integrating one, and probably I could say with near certainty, but you never know how these things go. But this is not going to have the same advantage as the Marsman League. You're going to be below. Nobody's going to be, as high as the Marsman or as high as the Moon Man, but there may be a Pluto League. So I'm ironing out the details on that, and we'll go from there. So once I have that all worked out, we'll have links for that, and we'll do all 3 drafts live on the channel. So get excited, because the Moon Man Marsman League may potentially have 12 openings in the Pluto League, just to make things even more interesting. And the one reason I think I want to do it is because it just makes it bigger. And no one's going to get kicked out of any of the leagues. You can move all the way down to Pluto, though. So a Mars Man can move down to the Moon Man. A Moon Man can move down to the Pluto League. Nobody falls out of the Pluto League, but you can climb from the Pluto League to the Mars Man to the the Mars Man League. It'll be interesting. And maybe we do something else. Like a Garrett Wilson draft. Jersey, autographed jersey, best ball, big, huge league, where it's all free to enter and all that. So hang tight for more on that. But we will drafting. Yeah, Ron, we're going to be drafting the Mars Man, Moon Man, and Pluto Man drafts in August, probably early to mid-August. It won't be earlier than that. Pluto Man League it'll probably be something along the lines of, when we're doing a live stream, the 12 highest super chatters of the night will get the spot. Keep in mind that there's also an entry fee that doesn't go to me or anything. It's just everybody puts in an entry fee, and then the winner takes all, or the winner can take all. In my leagues, the way I do it, and I have people that complain about this, and it is what it is. You're playing in the league that I set up, so just accept it. Some people get really bent out of shape over this. I have no idea why. It's such a fun way to play. But essentially, half of the money goes of the entry fee. So half the money goes to first in points through week 17. So whoever has the most points through weeks 1 through 17, they get half the money. And the person that wins the Super Bowl gets half the money. So it's the one setup where you can win both. You could take home all of the prize money, 100% of it. And I don't think there's anything better than that. I think that to literally say, 60% or 70% goes to first, and then, the person that's not Ricky Bobby gets 30% of it. Why not let Ricky Bobby potentially take home it all? And if your team is the first in points and you win the Super Bowl, you deserve all the money. That's the double crown. You get the double crown, you should get all the money. That's the way I look at it. That's the way Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty good so far. See you tomorrow. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm also additionally live whenever big news breaks. And I'm live most midnights Eastern. Appreciate you all.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon Men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas.
Yeah, real quickly, Tebow, before you go and think that there's some sort of YouTube thing going on with your super, you do remember you were outside the bar the other night doing $50 leagues and sending $50 super chats, right? Or $50 super chat. I think you don't remember. Like, he's like, why do I have a $50 super chat on my bill from YouTube? You sent Justin a $50. He says, but the super chat I just was pending 450. I don't know. I mean, bro, you were at the VAR hitting buttons, bro. I don't know. I've never heard another person complain about it. So part of me thinks it might have been something to do with where you were at and what you were doing. The Mars Men, Moon Men, Pluto Men League is the $100 entry each year. So there's $1,200 in the pot. 12 teams times 100 is $1,200. That means $600 to first points winner. That means $600 to the Super Bowl winner. So somebody could take home all 100% of the $1,200 in the league. And each league has their own entry fee system. Loser of the Mars Man goes down to the Moon Man. The loser of the Moon Man goes down to the Pluto Men. And the loser of the Pluto Men just stays, well, at the bottom of the Pluto verse. See you all later. Appreciate you. Top 5 wide receiver. It's looking good right there. It's looking good. This is the 4 horsemen. Achane, Bowers, Genty, kind of not in that second round anymore. So we got to move Genty over here. So he's no longer really, if this is the 4 horsemen, I think we could keep him in here because you might in your grandma league get him at the turn. It's possible. So we'll leave him in here. Then in the Bowers is the joker of this round. It's usually running back, as you can see, but Bowers faded. Joker play. Third round, Kyron, Breece Hall, joker play. And then quarterback, of course, if you already have Josh Allen, you're not going to take your quarterback here. But this is called the 4 horsemen. And then, of course, for those that don't know, this is the tripod.
The tripod strategy, inspired by pyramids in ancient Egypt, involves drafting running backs in rounds 1 and 2, followed by a quarterback in rounds 3 or 4, which can potentially turn the tripod into a quadpod.
It certainly can. And keep in mind, again, Breece Hall, you can get outside of 2. So let's even take Breece Hall. We're getting him at 4. So let's take Breece Hall off this board. We can return him to this list if his ADP climbs, but we'll take... Whoa. Who did I just remove? That was the wrong person. Put him back. Put him back. Genty. I'm sorry. It was Breece I meant to move. So Genty sometimes in this territory. Kyron, you're going to have to take him early. This is quite the... And some would say, where's Lamar? I could understand that. All right. See you all later.